Welcome to episode 3. The catalog now tells a seller what Cumulus Lab offers and where to find it. But a catalog product is still not a complete commercial offer until we answer two questions. How is this product sold? And what is its starting price? Product selling models answer the first question. Price book entries answer the second. Today we connect each Cumulus product to an active selling model and an active standard price book entry. Then we will define the 250 endpoint discount carefully enough to be built in the next episode. The discipline here matters. A price is not a number floating next to a product name. It is a result of a product, a selling model, a price book, and later a transaction context. By the end of this episode, you will distinguish a selling model from a list price, assign the correct model to each Cumulus product, create the standard price book entries, and refresh the lookup data that pricing uses. We are deliberately not creating a volume adjustment schedule today. A volume rule need is prerequisite in place, product, selling model, and price book entries. It also needs a precise commercial decision about whether a discount applies to all units or only to portion of a quantity. We'll make that decision now and configure it next time. That means the outcome today is a priceable catalog, that the outcome in episode 4 is a calculated discount. Think of pricing stack in layers. The product is the thing we sell. The selling model says whether it is one time, term defined, or evergreen. The price book gives the baseline list price for that product and model. Pricing procedures and adjustment calculate changes to that baseline in the context of a transaction. For Edge Protect, the product is the platform. The selling model is the term based yearly. The price book entry is 240 per protected endpoint for 1 year term. The 250 endpoint rule will later adjust that list price. We do not bake the discounted price into the base product record. Keeping layers separate makes it possible to explain a price waterfall and change policy without destroying your baseline data. Salesforce provides one-time, term-defined, and evergreen model. One-time is for a single purchase or service. Term-defined is for a commitment with a defined term. Evergreen is for recurring service that continues until a change or cancellation. For Cumulus Lab, Edge Protect and Advanced Threat Analytics are annual commitment, so they use term-based yearly. The implementation kickoff service happens once, so it uses one time. Do not choose Evergreen because a customer might renew. Renewal is a lifecycle action. The selling model describes the commercial structure of the offering at the time of sale. A yearly term with a renewal process remains a term-defined product unless the commercial policy says the service continues automatically without a fixed term. Here are the values we will use. Edge Protect platform is 240 per protected endpoint for a yearly term. Advanced Threat Analytics is 72% endpoint for the same yearly term. Implementation kickoff is 5,000 per engagement as a one-time service. These are numeric values in the org's default currency. The add-ons has the same annual selling model as the platform because it needs to be aligned with the customer subscription commercial cycle. That alignment is a business choice, not a platform default. In a different company, an add-on could be monthly, one-time, or evergreen. Each product gets one default selling model option in this course. Real products can have more than one, but start with the minimum commercial choice that the business actually sells. The product selling model option record connects the product to a product selling model. The price book entry connects the product, the price book, and the selling model, and the list price. That is why you must create the selling model option before you add the matching price book entry. The standard price book is the baseline. Salesforce requires a product to be in standard price book before you add it to the custom price book. Custom price book belongs to a future business decision such as market, segment, channel, region, or other or approved negotiated policy. Do not create them merely because the platform supports them. When troubleshooting, inspect the full combination product plus selling model plus price book. Looking at only the product name is really sufficient. List price is the published starting point. It is not necessarily the final transaction price. It can be adjusted by approved volume, attribute, bundle, contract, or promotion rules. The strength of a pricing system is that it retains the baseline and shows why an adjustment applied. For Cumulus Lab, Edge Protect starts at 240. At 300 endpoints, the later 15% volume policy would adjust that baseline. The baseline list price remains important because it makes the calculation auditable. Never solve a volume discount by overwriting the list price for a large deal. That would make the catalog wrong for every other customer and hide the policy from future reviewers. Creating record is not the same as making runtime pricing data current. After you create price book entries, refresh the price book entries decision table. When you are preparing to browse the runtime catalog or add products per transaction, run the available pricing synchronization action and the product catalog management partial index rebuild. These operations exist because pricing and discovery use optimized runtime data. In a shared training org, record whether the action is completed or not. Do not assume that a screen updates prove that a decision table or index is current. This is useful habit for every configuration topic. Distinguish source data, derive runtime data, and the verification step that proves they agree. Now, we define the volume policy with precision. At 250 or more protected endpoint on an Edge Protect platform line, apply a 15% discount to all eligible endpoints on that line. At 1 through 249 endpoint, there is no volume discount. This is a range policy. With range qualifying for a tier applies the same adjustment to all units. A slab policy would apply different adjustment to different portion of the quantity. For example, the first 249 units could receive no discount and the remainder could receive 15%. That is not our commercial intent. Write the policy in this precise form before you configure it. It tells us the schedule type, adjustment method, tier type, threshold, and expected result. Episode 4 will create a volume price adjustment schedule with the range method. It will define non-overlapping volume tiers for the product and selling model. The design will cover 1 through 249 at zero adjustment and 250 or above at 15%, so there is no ambiguous gap in the policy. We will then discuss the pricing procedures that retrieves the list price and applies the relevant volume discount. The order matters. The system finds the base price first, then applies the price adjustment. The pricing procedure is not a place to hide commercial policy. The schedule and its tiers remain visible configuration records that pricing and business team can review. Let's validate our org, and we'll first open an app by name Price Management. Then let's go to Products tab, open the project. In the related list, in the previous episode, we assigned it to a category. And also, we have got a product selling model option. Over here, the product selling model is yearly, and the product is Edge Protect platform. Also, if I scroll down in the related list, it is added to a price book. The list price is 240. It is active, list price is 240. Now the same thing we can see it for other products also. For advanced set analytics, it's added to a category. Then if I look at the product selling model, it is term based yearly. And the list price is 72 in the standard price book. Then you also have to make sure, if I go to setup decision tables, so we have a decision table for price book entries V2. So over here, we should refresh it after we have made changes. Now let's look at the lab also. This is the lab that we got. In this particular lab, the first is we have to make sure there is a product which we created in the previous one. Then we add it to the price book. Once the products are added to the price book, then we create a product selling model option. So if I go back, take for example, this particular product, if I want to add it to one more product, so I'll select a product selling model and the product. Like this, we will add it for all the three products. Then if the prices are missing it from the standard price book, we will add those to the price book itself. And at the end, we'll go and refresh the decision table. And also just remember, in the next episode, we are going to configure this discount policy. Policy is for the Edge Protect platform line with 250 or more protected endpoints. Apply 15% discount to all eligible endpoints so that line 1 through 249, there is no volume discount. The price adjustment effective after the list price is identified. So this is the lab that you should do in your org. Let's go back to the presentation. So as a recap, the catalog is now priceable. Selling model describes commercial behavior. Price book entry provides the list price baseline. Refresh steps makes the runtime data current. The endpoint policy is now precise enough to be configured without guesswork.